Yeah, Molly and Preston, Bellevue police say this all started out as a routine patrol call where a couple of officers thought something didn't quite look right. That led to prosecutors saying they were able to take down a vicious pimp who was abusing a woman and selling her for sex work while keeping the money for himself.
So trying to tell me leave alone?
On social media,
It's trying to tell me leave money alone.
Cedric Dorsey painted himself as a pimp
Why I'm a pimp.
with money, swagger, and influence.
SCCC 333.
But investigators say his lifestyle was built by forced sex work, as Dorsey trafficked a woman into prostitution in Seattle, Bellevue, Kent, and Las Vegas. It all came undone in 2024 when Bellevue police responded to a domestic violence call involving Dorsey and his victim.
They listened to what that victim was telling them and realized things weren't just adding up for her and what she was saying, and that she was in a very dangerous situation.
Bellevue police
Y'all like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Let me know how y'all feel about this conversation right here, man. Black man posing as a pimp on social media has been sentenced to 35 years in prison after being goofy. Like, bro, black people, we have to do better, man. This has to stop. We have to stop this nonsense. This man, oh Lord, this man is on social media with that shit look like $200 in his hand. Like, let's go back to this shit, bruh. You put your life on the line for that little bitty ass stack of money. Look at this shit.
for himself.
So trying to tell me leave alone?
On social media,
It's trying to tell me leave.
About $1,000. That's about $1,000, if that. I'm giving them grace to say it's a stack. You put your life on the line for. You got sentenced to 35 years in prison to flex $1,000 online. Let's get some more details, man.
sex work, as Dorsey trafficked a woman into prostitution in Seattle, Bellevue, Kent, and Las Vegas. It all came undone in 2024 when Bellevue police responded to a domestic violence call involving Dorsey and his victim.
They listened to what that victim was telling them and realized things weren't just adding up for her and what she was saying, and that she was in a very dangerous situation.
Bellevue Police Major Ellen Inman says patrol officers noticed signs of trafficking and called detectives.
When you ask them questions, they're answering repeatedly in these kind of scripted or answers that sound like they're rehearsed. When they served the search warrant on his premise, they recovered $12,000 in cash.
Clown. This is clown behavior. You trafficked a woman and spent all your money on Versace and bullshit. This is the culture.
Cash, along with those 3 firearms, one of which was stolen, and a banned firearm.
King County prosecutors hit Dorsey with charges of human trafficking, promoting prostitution, and unlawful possession of a firearm.
We see very significant violence, strangulation, beatings, assaults.
Prosecutor Brayla McGinnis tried Dorsey's case where his own social media posts were used as evidence.
And see, that's one thing that I always hated about the pimp game. I could never put my hands on a woman, let alone for a living. You have to do this for a living. You have to be okay with putting your hands on women for a living, man. That's the lowest of the lowest. That's the weakest man on earth to prey on women like that, bro. Straight up. I never respected these dudes.
Including this one about the 304 oath, where prostitutes promise not to cooperate with police and say they aren't victims.
One of the biggest rules of the game is not to talk to police. It is that idea of selling the dream, right? Saying, I have these nice things. If you come with me, you can have all of this, right? And when you're talking to someone who has had a very rough upbringing or a very troubled life, that's the vulnerability that they exploit.
That's the way I look at social media and the use of different ways that people advertise their criminal activity, is that if you make it available for the Bellevue Police Department in this case to access and use as part of our lawful investigation, then that's what we will do.
After being found.
Yeah, the pimp game and the hoe game, man, is the weakest men preying on the weakest women. Most of these women, they have problems, they have, trauma in their life. They most likely didn't have a father in their life. They don't have no masculine male presence in their life. And these dudes like him, they come around portraying to be masculine and stuff like that, man. And they're basically just taking advantage of these women. They taking advantage of these women, taking advantage of the situation, and they're using their weak man tactics to, get women to do what they want them to do, try to promise them a lifestyle that most of these dudes probably not even living.
Guilty at trial this spring, Dorsey is now starting a 35-year prison sentence.
We were able to take a very dangerous criminal off the street and hold him accountable for his actions.
Now, local and state officials have been really trying to get a handle on this issue of illegal sex work. And one of the proposals supported by the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office was a bill earlier this year in the legislature that would have increased the penalty for those who are buying sex work, the Johns in this case. But that bill did not make it out of committee this year. Reporting live in Seattle, Jeremy Harris, Como News.
Fellas, stay in your daughter's lives. We got to keep these kind of men away from our kids. We can't have stuff like this going on in the community, man. It's just bad. The whole culture is bad. The rapping, the pimping, the hoeing, like all of this stuff is ruining our communities. And they're ruining our kids, because kids are growing up and they see men like this with the the fake lavish lifestyle. Because a lot of these dudes not living like that, but they're making it look good for social media, and the kids are seeing this and they want to imitate these people and be like them, and they think this is the right thing to do because they can make a little money and try to be somebody that they're not. But y'all like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Let me know how y'all feel about this topic right here, man. Hit the link in the description. You want tattoos or piercings, you in Dallas, Texas, holla at your boy. If you want custom rugs for your home, your business, or a gift for a friend or family member, man, hit the link in the description. If you in the city or anywhere in America, we can get them to your doorstep, man. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Don't be a lame like these weak black men out here preying on all kinds of weak women. This is crazy. It has to stop.